magkano ba talaga ang colonoscopy and endoscopy sa Pilipinas? And paano ka makakatipid from 40,000 plus down to just 462 pesos? Imagine this, 2 critical procedures for only 462 pesos. That's less than 500. San ka pa? I'll walk you through exactly what I did and why this matters more than any investment strategy. If you were born in the late 80s or early 90s like me, hello 36 Club, the conversation is shifting. It's not just about career growth anymore. It's about health preservation. Madalas, maintenance meds na ang usapan. Recently, I had a meeting with some friends in the healthcare industry. Ang funny kasi instead of talking about just investments, you spend the whole time talking about endoscopy and colonoscopy, which is a good investment din that will result to your peace of mind. For the context, I've been dealing with constant GERD and a weakening of lower esophageal sphincter for a year. Sabi ko, hindi pwedeng tiis-tiis lang. And as a financial advisor handling over 650 plus clients, well, I cannot afford to be at half capacity. So, I'm now treating my body like a portfolio. And it needs a regular audit before it hits the market crash or, in this case, an ER or ICU stay. Now, you might be thinking, David, I don't have GERD or gastroesophageal reflux disease like you. Do I really need this? Well, let's look at the lifestyle. If your daily routine involves high-stress meetings, frequent samgyupsal or processed food, sedentary desk work for 8+ hours, and maybe a few too many cups of coffee or nightcap drinks to distress, you are in the high-risk zone. So we live in a culture of hustle, but our colons aren't designed for it. If you're over 35 and your diet is more grab and go than fiber and greens, or if you've been skipping that stool test for years because you feel fine, you are playing a high-stakes game. In my practice, I see professionals who are wealthy on paper, but bankrupt in their gut health because of the lifestyle they chose to build that wealth. Don't wait for a symptom to be your alarm clock. So I decided to be proactive. After my annual physical exam last February, I told my doctor I wanted the full procedure. Good thing I have a reliable HMO. So being from the South, I chose De La Salle Medical in Dasma since I'm only 20 minutes away. It might not be too prestigious like other tertiary hospitals, but they can do the job. But here's the reality check for everyone's watching. If you also experience hemorrhoids or a blood in your stool, then you need to also think na itong colonoscopy na to can give you peace of mind. According to 2022 Globacan data, colorectal cancer is the 3rd most common cancer in the Philippines. We're talking 20,000 plus new cases a year and over 10,000 deaths. You know what? I don't want surprises in my life, and I'm sure you don't either. Prevention is better than cure, and definitely cheaper than a Z benefit package, even if PhilHealth covers 150,000 to 400,000 for treatment. So my question for you is, why wait for the treatment when you can do the audit? Now, probably some of you will be asking, is the prep hard? Well, yes and no. Yes, because I visited the bathroom about 25 times. No, because the medicine was straightforward. Actually, dala-dala ko pa nga eh. So, merong 2 Dulcolax, 1 Lactulose, 2 sachet of Pico-Prep, and it's worth 1,123 pesos, which is not bad. So, this one, okay. So, ito yung mga kasama dyan. Ito, Lactulose. Alright. Yan. Pico-Prep. And, at the same time, meron tayong Dulcolax. Alright? So, ito yung pro tip ko from my experience. Taper your food 3 days before. Don't eat a huge steak the night before the prep, or you'll end up in the CR 50 times instead of 25. Be compliant. Drink a lot of water to push everything out. So my timeline was really strict. Last solid meal, at 3 p.m. the day before, no drinks after 1 a.m. By 1:30, I was asleep, ready for the big day. So pagdating ng procedure, I woke up at around 6:30 a.m. By 8 a.m., nasa Dilasal na ako. So I met the assistant at the endoscopy unit. I made sure to printed my LOA from my HMO, and honestly, kinabahan ako because I haven't used my PhilHealth in a while. But we processed the eligibility and everything went through. Inside the recovery room, it's no phone territory. So just you and your thoughts, ika nga. So ang ginawa, the assistant made sure na magubad ako ng pang-ilalim, and then I put all my things or my belongings into a locker. And pinahiga na ako, and then a nurse inserted an IV fluid, and kinausap na ako ng mga doctors and nurses. So the team was great. A nurse with 6 years of experience and 2 anesthesiologists. Siyempre, chika-chika muna. And they pushed my bed to the operating table. Then the gastro took over. They put me to sleep. And 1 hour and 10 minutes later, I was awake. Honestly, ganun lang yun. No pain, just a bit of a daze. So I walked right after, but since I went solo, no companion, I could still feel the anesthesia nung tumayo ako. So this is just a warning. Don't do what I did because there's a high risk of falling. So get a companion if you can. Now may nagtatanong, masakit ba? Well, again, no pain. Nagulat nga ako eh. Nasa recovery room na ako. The last thing I saw was my doctor asking me na gumilib ka. And then the last person I saw was actually, there's a guy who's holding the camera. Inuna yung endoscopy dito, and then next naman was actually the colonoscopy. After the procedure, while waiting for my HMO adjustment, there were 89 people ahead of me. Guys, so this is what I did. I sent my results to Gemini. So it gave me some peace of mind before seeing my doctor. I asked the AI if there are things the doctor saw that I need to be really concerned of. So let the AI read it and give you a preview. So when I finally met my doctor, she said, "Good thing, Dave, di mo ako pinahirapan." Meaning, the prep worked. Everything was clear. She gave me the good news and a plan for my body's recovery. Pinakita rin sa akin yung mga results at the end of the day. And she asked me kung meron akong mga questions regarding the results. Now, there's a good news. Alright? Everything went very well naman. After ko siya i-meet, I was really bloated. So I walk around the hospital campus. And if you undergo this procedure, I can guarantee you, you will fart. And don't be ashamed. It's literally air being released from your system. It's a sign of success. Now, let's talk numbers. So my total bill was 40,000 plus. But after the HMO and PhilHealth dance, I walked to the cashier and paid exactly 462 pesos. So I asked the OPD billing, saan ang galing yun? Yung 462. Siyempre, miscellaneous daw. Like the blanket and urine test. So, nagulat din ako about that. So there was a test, urine test. They put my details in here. Now, then they give me the clearance after I paid the cashier. So, I just want to thank Dr. Lawenco, Doc Suarez, and Doc Siton for taking care of me. Another one is si Ma'am Lovely, who's the one assisting me from 8 to 4. Big help when you reprint my results. Kasi sobrang ganda. She gave me all these things. Okay, para at least may reference ako. Ganda. Alright, may souvenir ka. So right after that, I booked a motorcycle taxi for 90 pesos and I was home by 5 p.m. And I break my fast with tofu, egg, and tilapia dahil gutom na ako. So this is just a reminder, before you book your appointment for a colonoscopy or endoscopy, here are the 5 non-negotiables I learned the hard way. Number 1, huwag mo pahirapan sa doc. Compliance is key. If you don't follow the diet and the prep and your colon isn't clean, they might stop the procedure and make you redo it. That's double the prep, double the cost, double the hunger. Don't be that patient. Number 2, audit your HMO. Not all HMOs are created equal. Check your coverage limit. Is it enough for a 40K to 60K procedure? Number 3, update your PhilHealth. This is a big one. No PhilHealth means you will shell out the portion they usually cover, which can be 15K to 30K depending on the case. So if you're a freelancer or self-employed, check your contributions now. Number 4, bring A+1. I went solo and honestly, I don't recommend it. You need someone to help with the paperwork while you're groggy, and more importantly, someone to make sure you don't fall while walking out. Number 5, admission versus outpatient. You have the option to be admitted, stay overnight, or do it as an outpatient. It depends on your schedule and your HMO's rules. Outpatient is faster, but admission is more comfortable if you have the time. One of my friends, who's also a doctor, asked his friend na gastro na i-admit mo na lang ako, which is a really good thing. Guys, we often tell ourselves, bata pa naman ako, or malakas pa ako. But colorectal cancer doesn't care about your age, even your status or your fitness. It is a silent killer that has taken some of the biggest icons we know. Think of our own legends like Kuya Germs and OPM icon Danny Javier, or Hollywood stars like Kirstie Alley, Audrey Hepburn, and Chadwick Boseman, who was only 43. That's the peak of his Black Panther career when he passed. Even President Ronald Reagan had to fight it while in office. These were people with all the resources in the world, yet they weren't immune. The lesson is clear. Cancer doesn't care about your fame or your bank account. It only cares if you caught it early enough. As a father, I did this audit because I don't want my daughter to ever wonder, what if? Just because I was too busy or too scared to get checked. You know what? We work so hard to build a legacy in a bank account for our kids. The greatest gift we can actually give them is a healthy parent. The last thing I want is for my daughter to spend her early 20s as my caregiver just because I was too busy to get a checkup. Let's be the strong foundation they deserve, not a medical emergency they have to manage. As a parent, I want to be there for every graduation and every milestone. But let me give you a financial realization that I see every day in my practice. The most expensive medical bill is the one you didn't see coming. I spent 462 pesos for this audit. But if I had waited until I felt real pain, if I had ignored the symptoms until they became stage 3 or 4 diagnosis, that 40,000 plus bill would easily turn into 4 million. I've seen families sell their homes, drain their children's college funds, and wipe out a lifetime of savings in just 6 months because of a late diagnosis. You know what? That's a financial crash no portfolio can recover from. You know what? My realization? Insurance and HMO aren't just expenses. They are the firewall between your family's dreams and a total medical wipeout. I did this for my daughter because I want her to inherit my legacy, not my medical debt. So why am I sharing this? Because as a professional, the greatest asset isn't your bank account. It's your health. If I didn't have my HMO in a critical illness plan like Sunfit and Well, that 40K would have come straight out of my emergency fund. If you're watching this and you're realizing you don't have that layer of protection yet, and you want to know how to maximize your maxi care or prepare for critical illness, let's talk. Don't wait until you're in the ER or realize you need a plan. Audit your health today so you don't have to pay for it tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you on the next one.